This is a plunger. In case you are wondering why you need a plunger for your bow, this will need some explanation. Traditional bows had no arrow rest or other fancy gadgets. The arrow was placed on the side of the bow. Consequently, the arrow had to flex around the bow in order to go straight. The archer's paradox describes this phenomenon. To shoot straight, you have to aim off to the side. Modern bows are designed with a window cut into the riser, allowing the arrow to be placed closer to the center line. This in turn removes the need to aim off and allows the arrow to fly straighter. However, arrows still flex, and that can cause clearance issues with your bow. Having the shaft smack into the riser will cause some obvious accuracy problems. While it's possible to shoot without a plunger button, it's essential for getting your bow into tune and maximizing your accuracy. The plunger is a spring that basically acts as a shock absorber. As the arrow cleaves the bow, the plunger counteracts the pressure of the arrow's inward motion, gently nudging it away from the riser. The tension of the spring can be adjusted. Too soft and the arrow won't clear properly. Too stiff and it deflects to the side. Generally speaking, the plunger should be on the stiffer side, but getting it right is part of the trial and error of bow tuning. Once you get it right, it doesn't really need to be touched again. Now that's out of the way, which plunger should you get, and should you even get one? You actually don't need to get a plunger, and most bows you use at introductory level don't have one. Many arrow rests have a fold that acts as a crude button, which is better than nothing, but it's obviously not adjustable. If you're using one of these with a plunger, it's not a bad idea to slice the flap off to improve clearance. If you're getting equipment for the purpose of shooting high scores, you must get a plunger. A plunger can cost anywhere between $15 and $150. That's a lot of money for a spring. I've got 3 plunger buttons, a $15 cartel triple cushion, a $50 win-and-win, and a $140 biter. All 3 do the same thing, so the differences are more subtle. Generally speaking, the differences between cheap plungers and expensive plungers are durability, sensitivity, and micro adjustment. Cheaper plungers wear out much quicker. The tips can get worn out from lots of shooting, and the cheaper models don't have replacements, forcing you to buy another. High-end models are made from more resilient material and have separate replacement tips for sale. Additionally, the spring lasts longer without losing tension, and the vibrations won't loosen the screws as often. I've actually lost screws in both of these plungers, and I've replaced them with these ugly ones from a kettle. They still come loose after a few shots, and require constant tightening. Cheaper plungers aren't as finely manufactured, resulting in a rougher spring action, whereas more expensive models are much smoother. It's a small difference, but it may plague you if you're struggling to get tight groupings. The ability to micro-adjust your plunger is a definitive factor in tuning your bow. The cheaper cartel plunger can be tightened or loosened, but without a real reference point. The win-and-win has click intervals, which is slightly better. The biter stands out in having even finer intervals and numerical references to help tune. It's worth noting that at its hefty price, the biter comes in a 19-piece kit including tools, springs of various tensions, and other spare parts. And get this, the biter plunger actually comes with spare grub screws and a hex wrench. For you aesthetic athletes, it also comes in a wide range of colors. It is by far the best plunger in the market, and most Olympians use it. But does that mean you should get one too? If you're an entry-level archer, it's probably safe to cut corners and get a cheaper plunger, as you probably won't be able to make the most of an expensive plunger until you get consistent enough to do some fine tuning. And by the time you do that, your plunger probably would have worn out anyway. A more expensive plunger is likely to last you a lifetime, and it fully eliminates a potential constant problem with your bow. Anyway, as usual, hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next time.